Hey everyone, thanks again for tuning into Sin's Workshop. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Kindred Spirits. No, I did not. Do you see how beautiful this is? This is my mother's original copy from 1991. I listened to the audiobook version of this book because I'm pretty sure she would have killed me if I had damaged this in any way. I mean, I would have killed me if I had damaged this in any way. Dragonlance is very precious to us. All this is all young adult Dragonlance. Well, except for that, that's How to Train a Dragon. But an entire bookcase here full of nothing but Dragonlance books, so I read most of them. There are some I haven't been able to read because she's like, no, I have to read these first before you. So I still haven't read them. This one is Kindred Spirits. It is the first book in the Meeting Sextet. Now, I have read books 1 and 6 in the Meeting Sextet. 6 is hilarious, by the way. In the companion. It's hilarious. This follows the first meeting of Flint, Fireforge, and Tanis, Half-Elven, two of the heroes of the lands. If you're familiar with Dragonlance, you definitely know who they are. And if you're not, oh my god, you're so missing out. You are. It's really good. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know how much of a review this is gonna be, instead of just me gushing about how much I love Dragonlance and how much I love this book. Because part of why I love this book stems from not just my love of Dragonlance, but also my love of the original Chronicles trilogy. It was literally the trilogy that launched the whole Dragonlance series. I really wish I knew why Wizards of the Coast stopped publishing Dragonlance books and Forgotten Realms books. I mean, I go to the bookstore, all I see are more books by R.A. Salvatore about Drizzt. I'm kind of like done with that guy. Both the character and the author, because it seems to be all he writes lately. Literally his last book that just came out was about Drizzt, I think. But sorry, I had to put the book down so I can grab my coffee. It is. I wish I knew what happened, because Wizards of the Coast used to be like the shit when it came to publishing fantasy books, and then all of a sudden they just stopped. They just, do official guides for D&D gaming, which, nothing wrong with that. I have a few. My husband's a dungeon master. I like to brag about that. And I'm a pretty good player myself. But I really wish I knew what happened, because Dragonlance was just like this fantastical world. And my love of Kindred Spirits kind of stems from that. But also, like I said, it stems from the original creation, because the companions were a great set of characters. They really were. And they were all flawed. And it's not so much that they overcame their flaws, they're great characters. They're so well written. And I love that Mark Anthony and Ellen Porath, the authors of this book, were able to remind me, I guess, what made Tanis and Flint so great. Because it's been a while. It's been a while since I've read a Dragonlance book. Sorry. It has been a while. I mean, they haven't published anything. And the last book I read was the last book published, Dragons of Hourglass Mage, with beautiful Raceland Magier and beautiful Takisis on the cover. I mean, if I could just get that blown up and framed. I would put that thing on the wall. That's just beautiful. But I think it really showcases what made those two characters great in Kindred Spirits. And it really did remind me why, you know, why I love Dragonlance so much, why the characters are complex. They're so complex. And you have to figure, I mean, Tanis, Half-Elven, if you are unfamiliar with his background, he is, as you know, his name gives it away, he's Half-Elven. He was born of a tragic union between, and it's tragic because his mother died in childbirth. Tragic because of the circumstances he was brought into. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you, because it's no secret. It's something that's talked about in Chronicles. His mother is an elf. She was a noble elf noble elf woman, and she was traveling with her husband, and her husband was killed. And she was taken by human, she was taken captive by the band of humans, bandits that, murdered her husband. And she was raped by the leader. Now, there are differing stories on, did they fall in love? Was it rape? It was rape. There is a story saying, she fell in love with her captor. I'm not a fan of that story at all. Probably one of my least favorite Dragonlance stories. But she dies. Yeah, she is rescued. She is saved, but not before she got pregnant. And there was a little area where she's like, okay, we don't know if the baby's gonna be human or half human or full elvish. It was half human. And enter Tanis, right? But that has forever marked him, not just because of the circumstances, but the elves are racist. They're so racist. Oh god, the Sylvanesti are the worst. I think they're all pretty racist in their own way. They all think, they're so much better, right? But you have the Sylvanesti, the Qualinosti, the Cagonesti, the Dimernesti, and the Darganesti. The last two are sea elves. Different factions. You've got shallow and deep sea. And I guess the Cagonesti would probably be the most tolerant of the bunch. They are what you would consider wild elves. And he lives with the Qualinosti. His mother was a Qualinosti elf. So he has grown up forever ridiculed for it, Even by his family, the only person who doesn't really ridicule him is Lauranta, and Solastrian. He's the Speaker of the Sun, pretty much his uncle, because it was his brother that was killed. And he wishes every day that Tanis was his nephew by blood. Because Tanis is, he's great. Even when he's young, you can see what's making him so wonderful. He's compassionate, he's thoughtful, he's intelligent. He's a bit brash, it takes him some time to learn to temper that brashness, but he has a sense of honor that you see a lot of the elves themselves lacking, He is not blinded by prejudices or ridicule. Being part of two worlds has opened him up to being more receptive to other cultures. And I like Flint Fireforge as well. I love the relationship between these two guys. Flint, dwarves live almost as long as elves. And, you know, he's had many, many years to be this wise old dwarf. There's still some color in his beard at least, so he's not that old, but he's getting there. Sorry, I'm so sorry. And you really see what impact he has on Tanis's life. He's, the wise old man. And he really does have a good impact on Tanis. And he's so ridiculous. Oh my god, I forgot. I'm just like, oh, that's right, you're allergic to horses. And he even slips up once in the book. He's like, I'm allergic to horses. And I'm just like, I remember that. I remember that so much from the original. And that's another thing I love about Kindred Spirits. It pulls in all these little tidbits that happen in the Chronicles. And even though this is before it, it's just like, oh my god, I love that you're referencing something that's going to happen. Or you're referencing something that is a marker of their personality, like his fear of horses. I mean, his allergies, sorry. The humor is there. And, oh gosh. I love this book. I love Dragonlance. This isn't a review, is it? It's just me gushing about Dragonlance. But I think Anthony and Porath, they did a phenomenal job of recapturing the spirit of these characters and really giving the story. They gave their friendship a really strong foundation. And not just between them. I mean, you're seeing Tanis's relationship with Porthios and Giltanas and Larantalasa, the elves. And you're seeing why it's important, how they treated him then to how they treat him in the Chronicles. It really does, honestly, I'm going to be honest, when I first read about Laurana in Dragons of Autumn Twilight, no, Dragons of Autumn, yeah, Autumn Twilight, Spring Dawning, Winter Night, yeah, Autumn Twilight. I don't know why I thought I was getting the titles of the books mixed up, but oh my god, I couldn't stand her. I mean, she grows. But in the beginning, she's definitely this spoiled elven princess. However, by Winter Night, you definitely see her becoming this really formidable warrior. More so than Porthios, and more so, I mean, I love Giltanas, don't get me wrong, but I love how she's just like, we've shut our backs on the world, and this is what's happening. We can't keep doing this. She is just like, bam, a formidable character. And I love how she's always been so accepting. And you see it here, even in this book. You see how accepting she is. She doesn't have those prejudices, that racism. She's always loved Tanis, Half-Elven, for all of him, the human and the elven. And she's never, ever made him choose. And you're seeing this, you see it, you understand it. She's never made him feel like he's had to choose between human or being elven. It's just like, you don't have to choose. You're both. And I love you for being both. And she does. She loves him for every little piece of being that he is. And that's what I think is great about Laurana as a character and why I've come to love her. Don't get me wrong, I mean, Kitiara is still pretty badass, but she's bad guy. But there's a lot of depth to the story. There's so much depth to it. And yeah, that's why I love this book. Absolutely, 100%. Have to give this book 5 stars. Yeah, 5 stars. Now, if you want to go ahead and purchase the book, there are few places you can get it. It is out of print. You can get an ebook version of it from Barnes and Noble or Amazon. I know I'm not really a proponent on getting books from Amazon, but I did my research and finding a lot of Dragonlance books is hard. You can check Abe books. You can check IndieBound, thrift books, book outlet, but they are hard. They are not in print anymore, so pretty much you are going to have to get them off of Amazon, unfortunately. I listened to the audiobook personally because, it was tight, and again, if I like to get my books new, because you don't really know what kind of wear and tear, especially from a book published in 1991, you don't really know that wear and tear. But if you want to get it new, it's going to cost you like $20 off of Amazon. So I would recommend just getting like the ebook version of it, either from Barnes & Noble or Amazon, or, getting the audiobook version. But, if you really want to spend the $20, you can get it new off of Amazon. I mean, if I had space and a little bit more money, I probably would have bought my own version of it, because I have done that. With the Irda, my mom has her own copy. I have my own copy. That is one of my favorite books out there, the Irda. Highly recommend that one too. Now you don't have to read Chronicles in order to really appreciate this book. I personally do recommend reading Dragonlance Chronicles because it's a phenomenal trilogy, and then going from there to reading everything else. But to each his own. Kindred Spirits. If I hadn't read Dragonlance, I think Kindred Spirits would make me want to read Dragonlance. That's how good it is. There's such a rich world building here. It's really complex. It's wonderful. It's fantastical. I just love it. So, give it a shot. Please, give it a shot. It's coming back anyway. August 9th, Dragons of Deceit by Margaret Wise and Tracy Hickman. I'm never going to stop promoting that book because I'm so excited. And I pre-ordered it. Surprise, surprise. On that note, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to this video. And as always, happy reading.